In modern American research on aging and longevity, people who remain remarkably sharp, both physically and mentally, even after the age of 80, are often called superagers. These are not people with exceptional talent or extraordinary genetics. They don't rely on expensive medications or intense athletic training either. The real difference lies in something much simpler: whether or not they consistently practice small, almost imperceptible habits that they've integrated into their daily lives. Today I'm going to share 6 habits that people between 75 and 85 years old naturally practice to stay physically and mentally young while continuing to live life on their own terms. I believe that if you're watching this, you already care deeply about your health and are always looking to learn. If even just one of these 6 habits makes you think, "I already do that," then you should feel proud. That's clear evidence that you already possess the qualities of a superager, and that's truly impressive. If you're not doing them yet, that's okay. Simply becoming aware of them can start changing your life from tomorrow onward. Imagine a future in 10 years where people tell you that you haven't changed at all. For that future, take a moment to relax. Maybe enjoy a hot cup of tea and stay with me until the end. On this channel, we share practical advice and useful ideas designed to help people over 70 improve their health and daily lives. To make sure you don't miss future updates, be sure to subscribe right now. Let's begin with the first habit. This is something energetic, youthful people over 75 do almost without thinking. The first habit is very simple but incredibly powerful. They open the curtains as soon as they wake up and let natural sunlight reach their eyes and body immediately. You might be thinking, "That's it?" But take a moment and honestly reflect on your own mornings. After waking up, you stay in bed for a while, letting your thoughts wander. You keep the blinds closed and spend the first hours in a dark room with little light. These small patterns are more common than we think. As we age, exposing ourselves to morning light becomes more difficult, but at the same time, it becomes far more important than most people realize. Those who maintain this habit stand out because, with their own actions, they reset their internal biological clock every single day. According to studies widely supported by the National Institutes of Health, the body produces a hormone called serotonin, known as the feel-good hormone. When morning sunlight enters through the eyes, it activates this process and tells the brain that the day has begun. As the day progresses, serotonin is gradually converted into melatonin, the hormone that helps us fall into deep, restorative sleep at night. This is hugely significant. Only those who receive enough natural light in the morning prepare themselves for quality sleep later. On the other hand, avoiding morning light can lead to sleep problems. Lack of sleep reduces daytime energy, lowers activity levels, and over time can even contribute to loss of independence. People who stay strong and active well past 75 don't do anything extraordinary. They simply maintain this rhythm every day without thinking about it. They wake up, open the curtains, and let the light in. That small action sends a powerful signal to the brain that it's time to start moving and participating in the day. If you already wake up at a consistent time and let morning light in, that's something you can really be proud of. You're managing your sleep and emotional balance without relying on medication. It may seem simple, but it reflects a high level of self-awareness and self-control. It doesn't matter if the sky is cloudy or it's raining. Just being near a window is enough to activate this process. Tomorrow morning when you wake up, try it. Open your eyes and let the light in first. From that moment, your body begins to reset, and that's where your real journey to staying young begins. Now let's move on to the second habit. People who stay healthy and vital well into their 70s and 80s tend to start their morning not with cold water, but with warm water at a temperature close to body temperature. It may seem like an insignificant choice, but it reveals something deeper about how they listen to their body. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you drink? A strong cup of coffee or a glass of cold water straight from the refrigerator? Of course, staying hydrated is important, and that's absolutely good. But the people who choose warm water are the ones paying attention to what their body really needs. During sleep, body temperature naturally drops. As we age, especially in our 70s and 80s, muscle mass decreases. This means the body becomes less efficient at generating heat compared to when we were younger. If you suddenly introduce cold water to that system, your internal organs react quickly. They tense up, slow down, and function less efficiently. Think of it this way. On a cold winter morning in a place like Chicago or Denver, what would happen if you tried to floor a car before the engine warmed up? It would strain. The same principle applies to your body. Superagers understand this, whether through experience or knowledge. They begin the day by slowly drinking warm water at or slightly above body temperature. As that warmth spreads through the digestive system, it gently activates the stomach and intestines. Blood circulation improves, and the body begins to wake up in a natural, balanced way. Some studies suggest that when internal temperature rises by about 1 degree Celsius, immune function can increase by up to 30%, and metabolic activity also improves. This means a simple glass of warm water in the morning is not just hydration, it's a gentle way to wake up the body and prepare it for the day. Additionally, this habit contains something more. The act of boiling water, pouring it into a cup, and letting it cool slightly creates a moment of morning calm. That small pause reflects a sense of peace and control. It shows that you don't rush through the day, you start it with intention. If you're someone who starts the morning with something warm, that's truly impressive. You're protecting your internal organs, strengthening your immune system, and creating one of the most powerful habits for keeping disease at bay without even realizing it. Now let's move to the third habit. This time we're talking about food. People who remain strong and stable well past 75 almost always share an important pattern. They don't settle for just toast and coffee in the morning. They make sure to include protein in their breakfast. This is a point many people overlook. As we age, appetite naturally decreases. It's common to hear someone say they're not hungry in the morning, so they make do with a single slice of toast and a cup of coffee. Others may choose something very light and simple just to get through the day. There's nothing wrong with that. But when it comes to maintaining strength and youthfulness, it may not be enough. While you sleep, your body isn't just resting, your muscles are breaking down. Upon waking, your body needs to regenerate. If you only consume carbohydrates, it may start breaking down even more muscle to produce energy. Over time, this contributes to sarcopenia, or age-related muscle loss, which is very common in older adults. If you look at the breakfast of active men and women between 70 and 80, you'll almost always find a source of protein. Eggs, grilled fish, yogurt, legumes, tofu, or other simple foods. These people understand something very important. Muscle doesn't just provide strength. It's the foundation that supports their independence and their ability to live life on their own terms. You might think cooking eggs in the morning is too much trouble, but it doesn't have to be. You can prepare hard-boiled eggs in advance, open a yogurt, or add a protein source to your diet. What matters is the intention, the decision to care for your body instead of neglecting it. That awareness is what separates those who continue moving freely from those who slowly lose mobility. If today you included eggs, dairy, or plant-based protein in your breakfast, take a moment to recognize that you protected your muscles and invested in your future. Every bite you take in the morning is building something and shaping how you'll walk, move, and live in 10 years. If you're still watching this video and feel that what we're sharing is truly useful, please leave us a comment. How old are you, and where are you watching from? Do you have any experience with the topic we're discussing? Even a few words from you mean a lot to us and are a great source of motivation. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click the subscribe button now and turn on notifications. Thank you very much. Now let's continue. The fourth habit may surprise you at first, but from a neuroscientific perspective, it makes a lot of sense. People who stay mentally agile as they age tend to do something very simple before picking up the newspaper or turning on the TV. They use their fingers. You might be wondering if this means playing the piano or doing something complicated. Not at all. It can be very ordinary things: carefully buttoning a shirt, tying shoelaces, opening a bottle, watering the plants in the living room or patio. These are small actions that are already part of daily life. At first glance, they may seem unimportant, but as people reach their 70s and 80s, these fine finger movements often start to become cumbersome. It becomes tempting to choose comfort, slip-on shoes, elastic waists instead of buttons, small changes that reduce the need to use the fingers. This is where the importance lies. Inside the brain, there is something known as the Penfield map. It represents how different parts of the body are connected to the brain. What's surprising is that the hands and fingers occupy one of the largest areas of that map. This means that moving the fingers stimulates a wide region of the brain and increases blood flow almost instantly. In other words, using your fingers is not just a physical action, it's a form of brain training. It activates neural pathways and keeps them active. Research supported by institutions like the National Institutes of Health has shown that maintaining fine motor skills is closely linked to cognitive health as we age. People who keep a young mind tend to perform these small actions with care. When applying cream, they take their time and feel the movement of their hands. When shaving, they pay attention to every movement. When tying a tie or buttoning clothes, they move deliberately. They don't rush these moments. They use them as opportunities to stay connected to their body. Those who approach these movements with awareness tend to maintain stronger neural networks in the brain. Over time, this can help reduce the risk of cognitive decline. It's not about doing things perfectly, it's about continuing to use your hands. If you still dress, cook, or perform small tasks with your fingers, it's something you should appreciate. Your hands are not just tools, they are directly connected to your brain. Even if your movements are slower or not as precise as before, it doesn't matter. Be proud of using your hands. Your fingers are like a bridge to your brain, and every time you use them, you strengthen that connection. The fifth habit is one of the most important for protecting your life. It may seem simple, but it has a powerful impact. People who stay strong and resilient as they age make sure to use their voice every morning. They talk to someone if they can, or even talk out loud to themselves. The important thing is that they actively use their voice. In the United States, a serious health risk among older adults is aspiration pneumonia. This condition occurs when the ability to swallow weakens, allowing food or even saliva to enter the lungs. What many people don't know is that this swallowing ability is closely linked to how often we use our voice. The muscles in the throat weaken surprisingly quickly when not used. This becomes especially important for people who live alone or go out less frequently. It's not uncommon for someone to spend an entire day without speaking to anyone. The hours pass in silence, and by evening the voice has barely been used. Over time, this silence can have real physical consequences. But people who stay healthy and active do something different. They speak often. If they live with family, they greet the morning with a clear and energetic, "Good morning." If they live alone, they also find ways to use their voice. They talk to their dog or cat, answer the TV out loud, say a short prayer, hum a favorite song, or sing a few lines they remember. These simple actions do more than fill the silence. They strengthen the throat muscles, help maintain proper swallowing ability, and in doing so, reduce the risk of serious illnesses like aspiration pneumonia. At the same time, using the voice also helps release stress. When you speak from the diaphragm, your breathing becomes deeper. That deeper breathing helps regulate the nervous system and brings a sense of calm. Anxiety decreases and the body relaxes. According to studies supported by the National Institutes of Health, both vocal activity and deep breathing play an important role in maintaining overall physical and mental health. If you're someone who greets a loved one every day or reads something out loud, even for a short time, you're already building a powerful line of defense for your health. You may not even realize it, but you're protecting your body in a meaningful way. Your voice is more than a sound. It's a reflection of your life force. There's no need to hold back. Let your voice be heard in your home. Even a simple sound like saying "ah" out loud can activate the muscles in your throat and bring energy back to your body. Now we come to the sixth and final habit. This may be the most important of all. It has less to do with the body and more with the mind and spirit. It's the habit that often determines whether a person continues to feel alive and active well into old age. People between 75 and 85 who still have a sparkle in their eyes almost always share a simple behavior. They decide on something small to look forward to every morning. It doesn't have to be anything big, but it has to be intentional. As we age, it's easy for days to start feeling the same. You wake up and think there's nothing special planned. You go through the day without much direction. When that happens, the brain begins to assume no new stimulation is needed and quietly reduces its activity level. Over time, this pattern can accelerate cognitive decline. But people often described as superagers take a different approach. No matter how small it seems, they place a signal of anticipation in their day. They give the day a purpose. It could be something as simple as walking to the local bakery, watching the next episode of a series they enjoy, calling a friend, or spending time outdoors doing a bit of gardening on a sunny afternoon. What matters is not the magnitude of the activity. What matters is the decision. The moment you say, "This is what I'm going to do today," and feel even a small sense of excitement, something begins to change in the brain. That feeling of anticipation triggers the release of dopamine. Dopamine is often called the brain's reward chemical. It plays a central role in motivation, pleasure, and engagement with life. Research supported by institutions like the National Institutes of Health has shown that dopamine activity is closely linked to cognitive vitality. In a way, it acts as a natural anti-aging support system for the brain. When someone is asked what they'll do today and can answer with a smile that they have something planned, that person tends to stay mentally and emotionally younger. This is because for them, the day is not something that simply passes, but something they actively create. If you're someone who enjoys jotting down plans in a notebook or checking your calendar in the morning, that's something you should appreciate. Even thinking about what you might cook for dinner later is a sign of engagement. It means you're participating in your own life. You're in the driver's seat, with your hands on the wheel, and that forward-looking mindset is what keeps your mind active and your energy alive. That positive intention doesn't stay only in your thoughts. It reaches every part of your body, supporting your overall vitality from the inside out. So, what did you think? As you can see, none of these habits require special tools or a lot of money. They are simple, practical choices that anyone can start right where they are. Thank you so much for staying with me until the end. While you were listening today, did any of these habits feel familiar to you? Is there anything you plan to try starting tomorrow? I'd love to know. Please share it in the comments. Maybe you do light stretches every morning. Maybe you talk to your dog every morning. Maybe you already have your own little routine that keeps you active. When you share it, it can inspire someone else. And it motivates me a lot too. If you found it useful and it gave you a bit more energy today, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. I hope to see you again in the next one.